All right, hey everybody. This is Granblue Radio. This is number 275. We're kind of quiet. Uh,
We'll find out. I
mm,
like I like the name of this.
this is uh, this is normal volume according to OBS.
Yeah, it sounds normal to me, and I
Yeah.
have us on low.
So anyway, let's go. This is number 275. This is a Unite and Fight edition that we usually don't. Well, it's kind of just a 1 in 7 chance for this to take place during prelims. So whatever. Um, but
Welcome to Light United Fight. Anyways, here's light characters.
yeah. Well, one light character.
There's two. One's an update and one's a character.
Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and look at the update because that is what you're here for because you are the expert. I got this character as a speculative anniversary ticket and hey, it paid out. Hey. All right. So tell me what was wrong with Vira before and tell me
One, Divine Weapon was 9 turns for a 1 turn buff.
yeah, the one turn buff was like why was this such a long cooldown?
When literally there are other characters who have this on like a 7 turn cooldown with as a 2 turn buff, and also something else that isn't just increase my attack strength.
And in recent years, there's also this where if you have CA'd recently, it affects everybody and refreshes. So that's the Grand Jean into the Summer Anila right there.
Which one are we talking about?
The deal triple attacks for everybody for
Yeah,
Divine Weapon. Yeah,
you need to be in skill 1, not CA.
yeah. I know. Like I said, there's the modern version of this which doesn't require you to be in a mode. It just asks you to have CA'd recently.
When did Grand Jean came out again?
2020 at this point.
Try 2019.
Yeah, end of 2019.
Yeah, this character came out at the end of 2017
Yeah. So anyway,
and was not touched at all until now.
yeah. So the first thing they did before the 5-star even happened, Divine Weapon goes from a 9 turn cooldown to a 6 turn cooldown.
That's better. I'm still not happy with it. Going back to the entire thing of most characters have it on 2 turn buff.
Hmm.
And this character has problems double attacking most of the time. Because unlike her
Valentine.
new version, her
Hmm.
new improved Valentine's version,
Hmm.
she does not guarantee multi attack in any slight form.
Hmm. Yeah. This so
And
this is where it's coming from.
she used to need to CA a lot in order to keep her bits because she started with 3
Hmm.
before this new update of
Hmm.
going to 5-star.
Hmm.
And B, it was actually really easy to lose all your bits.
Yeah, because you just lost one every turn, and if you just didn't triple attack everywhere, then you would just run out before it was time for you to CA, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, all right. That sounds bad. I didn't use her at that point, but that sounds annoying and frustrating.
Yeah, and you can't turn off the spending 1 bit every attack.
Hmm. Yeah, so you didn't really want to Aegis Merge at the start of combat. You wanted to Aegis Merge like 2 turns before you CA'd, essentially. Does that sound about right?
Uh, no, you do it the turn you CA, and hopefully you had meter.
Mm-hmm. All right. So.
It consumes a bit every turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's also annoying because if you start with 3, you only get 2 turns of this of
Mm.
3 turn buff of Aegis merge.
Oh,
So
geez. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about what 5-star does and how much this fixes and doesn't fix. So level 80, the CA used to just restore all bits. Now it also activates Blade of Light.
that's good because Blade Light actually did a lot of damage. Like at base without any modifiers at 700k.
Mm-hmm.
Currently mine does about a million something.
Mm-hmm. I honestly can't tell you how much mine does because I have not actually pressed the button in a meaningful fashion yet. So, um, Yeah, I mean, it adds a lot of damage, and then with the later update to Blade of Light, then it adds even more damage because there's, like we always talk about ramp time. With the upgraded Blade of Light, there is no ramp time. So let's keep going. What's the next thing?
So next thing, level 90 is Blade of Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Now has the effect that on second cast it does another nuke that's about half the damage of the normal hits,
Mm-hmm.
and then third cast it goes up to another hit. So you have 3 hits on this nuke.
And those two hits add up to basically the strength of the original hit, which, as you mentioned, is pretty beefy.
What happens is that my nuke is now a 4 million nuke
Mm-hmm.
on my grid.
Yeah. So, and the thing about ramp time is that once we get to level 100, then this thing starts the fight essentially. By turn 2, it's already maxed out. It's just already there. So, all right, level 95 is her passive. So explain these ones to me and how they change things for her.
All right, so you now start the first one, Primal Bits. You now start with 6 bits. That allows you to actually use H's merge at the very beginning and still get 3 turns of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Second thing is your effect. The effect now is 100% chance for 60% boost to crit,
Does that
which
matter to
used to be
you?
30%.
Does that actually do anything like that second part?
It matters in higher level fights.
That's a good point. Good call. All right.
It does not matter in lower level fights because you're usually hitting cap already.
Okay. But the thing is that, like, given her status as a defensive character, um, hard fights are where you want her to be better anyway. Like,
Yep.
they already improved her in very short fights by giving her a nuke on CA. Like, that's all a lot of characters need to get useful. I mean, a lot of us use Nicholas or various characters like that in order to just do a nuke after CA. Alright, keep going.
Yeah, hers is pretty beefy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part. And then the other thing is Impregnable Defense also gets the ability to mitigate damage taken by 1500. That's actually a lot considering the fact that when you're in Aegis merge, you're effectively only taking 10% of the damage you should be taking
Yeah,
before any reductions.
it is equivalent to using the block button in um, in V2 is what I have basically like seen. So she can
And
attack while blocking, essentially, with 1000% defense.
uh, except there's a caveat on certain cases because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's still not enough. But reducing it when you're fighting something with multi hits, for example,
Mm-hmm.
this is great because mitigating by 1500. If they did less than 1500 per hit, you're taking 0 for those hits instead.
Yeah, and so what I've been seeing is there are videos of people bringing this character into the hard fights, and one of the ways that the hard fights try and whittle you down through your defenses is that they try and make sure that things like unchallenged don't um, invalidate their turns by attacking a lot of times for medium to small damage. And Vira is very good against that. Things like Belial hitting just plain attacking, Beelzebub attacking, a lot of omens that say they do like 30 hits of random targeted damage, etc. And so that's the minus 1500 flat to the final damage number is really good.
And remember that she's an all subber when she does this, so you typically actually block with her at the same time just to make sure that she stays alive in
Yeah,
during those situations.
yeah. So I've been
And
seeing.
your other people actually get to play as well.
Yeah, so because of this passive alone, along with the extra bits, and so that she has a longer Aegis merge timer, I've been seeing her a lot more in places where she was traditionally supposed to be good but had fallen out of favor. So Lucilius, Beelzebub, Belial, um, yeah, and Super Bahamut. Like
Yeah,
they're
I took a Paradise Lost and didn't die. It was amazing.
yeah, well, like she used to take Paradise Lost, and the thing is, it was kind of iffy on whether or not she would live through it. You would know better than I do. Like,
Uh huh. 4 of the runs I had with her, 3 of them she died.
yeah, like it was basically sort of just like not even flipping a coin, rolling dice to see if she lived. And now she just eats them. You said
Yeah, she can eat Paradise Lost pretty easily.
nice.
Not the last one though.
Mm-hmm.
not the one that's a static damage.
Okay. All right. So that's her level 95, and that's a huge upgrade, but just by improving things that aren't even buttons. They just change how like they affect how Aegis Merge work, and honestly, that's enough.
Yeah, they also gave it the increase the refresh from 999 to 2000. That's still nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice, especially since you Light also has access to Garrison. So when she's out, actually it doesn't matter for this case, but it helps her keep her alive better.
Right, and especially since you're comparing her with characters who have a lot of like passive sustain, like say Uni, or some people will talk about like Aglavale, because Aglavale has a very tiny heal, and also yeah. But anyway, yeah, she works well with the general light style of like gradual healing every turn.
And the
So
last thing she gets at level 7 is Fated Cleaver. Not level 7, level 100. It gets a 7-turn cooldown, but it is you can use it immediately, and it's an instant charge with CA reactivates.
so that's from Valentine's Vira, right?
Valentine's Vieira is different.
Okay.
Valentine's Vieira is the Oregon effect.
Okay. So she doesn't. She gets the reactivate. Well, Oregon gets the reactivate at the end, and a CA standby for multiple turns. These combine those into just one turn with a
Yeah,
shorter cooldown.
that is correct.
So this is the thing. So there's two things about this that are notable. One is that some people were mildly annoyed, and I'm just like, you don't have to play this character full auto. That you will cast Divine Weapon and Fated Cleaver on the same turn to start. Whatever.
This
Um,
is not a character you should be full autoing with in the
yeah,
first place.
pretty much. Um, the thing is that as we mentioned before, so turn one, you can hit Blade of Light and remove a buff, and that gives you one of the hits for the next cast. Then, if you Fated Cleaver, then she'll cast Blade of Light again, and she'll get the second hit, and then she will CA and cast Blade of Light again, and that third one is fully powered. So there is no ramp time on this, effectively. That's
Granted, the reward is just it's just more nukes instead of like additional effects, but still nice.
it is nice that this is not a thing that you will have to worry about as ramp time. Like sometimes there are characters who like keep adding hits, keep adding hits, keep adding hits, and it takes a very long time for them to get that up to that number. Admittedly, these are less and less over time. Like how long does it take for your Randall to ramp up to his maximum number of hits?
I don't even pay attention. He just ramps up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But like, um, I don't know if there's anything that we need to say beyond these things because we sort of.
The things
Okay,
you
go
have
ahead.
to we have to consider also the other
Hmm.
things of how she play well with with other characters in high level contents.
So, have you seen
She's a
the?
primal, unfortunately, so you have to play fun with your primals for Lucilius.
Mhm. Um. So, have you seen how often people are using her with Viking now?
I haven't seen those videos yet.
Yeah, because you can extend Aegis Merge, so it can go from
Yeah,
three to
that's
four
true.
turns, and so it becomes a 4 out of 7 instead of a 3 out of 7. And with Uni, that is even lower. So, with like a Viking Uni Aegis Merge core, well, sorry, Viking Uni Vira, you can have Aegis Merge up for a very, very significant amount of the fight. And, Uni's not the most sturdy character, but hey, if you have someone who's just all subbing the entire fight, and that character is very hard to kill, that's great. Like, good job, Uni.
Well, things you have to also consider is how
Hmm.
is getting her to the CAs because she will need to CA in order to refill.
Right, which is also where Uni comes in. So there's a lot of different things that'll do that. Like you can pair her with characters like Greya. You can pair her with characters like um, just anybody who doesn't want to get hit in order to keep going. Like Halloween Halicena, for example. Um, but yeah, like because she has all sub much more consistently, you can sort of use her in that Summer Alex way that people do, and so that's also a significant thing.
Yeah, she ironically makes a bad and good uni target at the same time for her 7 cost
Hmm.
because when you try to do a skill reactivate, you're only reactivating Blade of Light twice.
Mm-hmm.
But it allows you to get off your cooldowns for skill 4, skill 1, all those. So that's why she's both a good and bad targets.
Right. Uni is not making Vira do like insane amounts of damage. She is basically just refreshing Aegis Merge and doing a double Blade of Light.
Exactly. She
However,
also plays well with CAG because
yeah,
skill 2 is a dispel.
right. So like, but that's the fail case basically, and so it's like if that's your worst case scenario, you're doing good. you know. So that's pretty much what we've got on Vera. Like, I am going to take this character into a whole lot of things. Like right now, she is beating up Nightmare 90 for me just because of the double CA. Um, like you can just sort of see this coming in right now, but yeah, good in short fights, good in long fights. Um, Not necessarily a full auto character, and that's okay. You know what? You know what? Making her not necessarily a great full auto character did. It gave her the greatest possible rating on game
I'm
win.
not gonna comment on this. I hate gamers rating system in the first place. So
Well, no, I'm just talking about the letter rating system. The letter rating system is actually the one that takes multiple contexts into account, not the number one, because she got the ASS baby.
I told you I didn't want to talk about this.
All right, on to other characters. So, which of the two do you want to talk about first? Fluffy Daughter or Long Neglected SR?
You choose.
All right, we'll talk about Long Neglected SR. So Laguna is a character who has been an SR for a very long time. I want to say like 5-6 years. Let's take a look at her SR release date. 2016, 6 years in SR jail. But also has never actually like appeared in an event anyway. She had only ever really been in Philosophia Fates and Across Fate.
Mm-hmm.
And so the character was pretty neglected. Like she had her fans just from being a well-designed draft. Um, and the reactions to this character are mostly happy that she got out of jail and the character is usable. They're not like banging the drum for her to be like the best character in the world.
You're an Earth. That's a really hard thing to fight in.
Right. And so this character is mostly about her Omar stuff. So let's go down to very bottom stuff. Um,
Some of these things might seem
really familiar.
really familiar from a couple minutes ago. By the way,
Right. So her support skills. So she has Omar's Recollection. That's sort of her centerpiece. She wants to go up to 10 if she can, because she gets boost to attack specs based on how many stacks that she has. And attack specs is usually so in this case it is 5% attack up each time.
on perpetuity mod.
5% defense up, and then
Is there defense up? I thought it was DA.
wait, sorry, it's not defense. There is no defense up on her. Sorry, it's DA up and TA up. So 5% DA up, 3% TA up, and 3% cap up.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Right, and so
How do you get these stacks, Dom?
she takes damage or she passes the turn. So worst case scenario, you get there turn 10, and that's if you like block every turn. So
Wait, how do you get it from passing the turn?
and at end of turn. So
Okay.
So there is one from the turn passing. So at the end of the turn, she automatically gets one. And if she took damage at any time during the turn,
So you can get 2 a turn,
you can
possibly
get 2 a
instead of
turn.
1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
So best case scenario is 5.
Yep. Best case scenario 5. Worst case scenario 10. That is a long ramp up time in modern Granblue fantasy. So we're not gonna sugarcoat that. She also has hostility up. And she has 20% extra HP. Sure. But mostly you're just looking at this Omar stuff because you mentioned that these things are very familiar. So these are the things that happen once she actually gets Omar 10. Um, so she has Blade of Earth, sorry, Persistent Pierce, which is Earth damage, remove a debuff from herself, and heal herself. So she actually just, does that, but she casts it on her CA, and she gets it twice. She gets double damage on it when she has Omar 10.
And the heal's not bad too. It's 2,500. That's a lot. That's actually a lot for a nuke.
Yeah. Um. Also, at when her Omar is at 10, she gets everybody triple attacks for 3 turns, and everybody does has a chaser for 3 turns. The
You can
chaser
only
is
use this at 10.
it's 50%. So normally that is associated with everybody having 100 meter. In her case, it is her having 10. So somewhere between turn 5 and 10, that everybody's gonna go party time.
That's a
But
very good thing for Shidala, actually.
mm-hmm.
Shidala wants a triple attack.
It's true. Sidala really does want to triple attack as many times as possible, and is not necessarily great at doing it on their own. Um, and then the other thing that you get is normally she has an instant CA, and then um, once so that CA when she gets it will also heal her for 2,500 and remove a debuff from her. Neat. And then she does it twice when she has 10 Omars. So, this is a very like knock it down, drag it out kind of character. She doesn't particularly do well with World Ender, for example. She doesn't do multi hits. She's not really like a huge CA character. She's somewhere between like a solid nuke character and an okay-ish off tank.
You say she doesn't do it with multi hits, but I'm still looking at that 50% chaser.
Yeah, on turn like 6 to 8 on a good day. So, she'll do well with that eventually. It takes a while to get there, though, like I said. So, all in all, people who like Laguna are like, I'm happy this character is playable at SSR. She's not changing how you do any fights. It's just how it is. It's like, okay, I accept this, essentially. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to say about that one. Like the Dread Lance over here, um, it does have craft and crit on it, but Earth crit has never really needed help, so it's there if you need it.
It's better than a bamboo sword.
Yeah, this is true. So, on to the other character, the Floofy daughter. I was very excited by this character, and I was blessed enough to get her with single tickets before Unite and Fight. All right, let's talk about Yo. So, she's light, which means she actually doesn't line up with any of the other, um, like, Fox characters. There is no light Socier.
She's not a harp character either.
Yeah, she doesn't line up with Ko is a katana character though, so she matches him at least. Um, we're gonna go straight down to the first thing that we should know about her, which is makings of kinship. She starts the fight with 100 meter. So right there, right before Unite and Fight, they put out a Unite and Fight friendly character because normally, in order to start the fight with 100 meter, you need to have 2 Huanglongs, and you need to have an Eternal in that second spot, and you need to have all 10 Eternals. At that point, someone starts the fight with 100 meter.
Mm-hmm.
She does that without any help, and so she can go into that position. She's like a budget Toyen in that way. It's not the same, of course. She doesn't give like a bunch of buffs to the team or anything on CA. But what she does have is that she also starts the fight with 6 stacks of a thing called Tender Ties. And those Tender Ties, as a passive, give her at 6 30% damage cap up. So she is CAing really hard on that first turn because she also gets 60% attack up.
Unique modifier.
Mm-hmm. And
Her CA also does 60% at full stack, 60% more damage, and 30% more CA damage cap up.
so on her turn, on her first turn, she does as much damage as Summer Shiva. So I have actually taken Summer Shiva out of my EX Plus one turn team because, I mean, he gets enough play. I'm letting Yo out. And she does just as well. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that she does just as well as all of these limited characters in a different way. She doesn't do as well on, the other turns, but that's not the point. This is a one turn thing, and she is great for that. Now let's move on to finding about the other turns. So, on turn 1, she just does Void Dance Kokoto, and it does like 6 million damage, and then, for the rest of the fight, you have all of these other things. She has low defense, and she has low max HP. So...
But she guarantees triple attack, so...
She does guarantee... Yeah. Also, she has... So she guarantees triple attacks. She has, as long as she has those 6 stacks, she is going to have 30% cap up on those and a huge amount of extra attack. However, there are also 2 ways to lose Tender Ties. There are only 2, and one is one where she gains Assassin and gets bonus light damage for 1 attack.
Jesus, 2 of those.
And so you get 3 total if you want. This is completely optional for you to do. And then the other way is if she would die due to her low HP and her low defense, then it eats 1 tie and she stays alive. So if you never press skill 3, then she survives 6 hits that would normally kill her. And those are the only ways she loses it. So mostly they're voluntary.
And you need at least one in order to use her first skill, by the way.
Yeah. So here's Fox Flame. She gives a very slight mischance for 4 turns out of 7, and it does more hits based on how many Tender Ties she has.
It goes down to 6 at level 55.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of hits. Really good and light.
Mm-hmm. And then, in case that you ever thought that she would actually be in trouble, she has sub and dodge all. It's not sub all, but that's fine. It is sub and dodge all. It's on an 8-turn cooldown, but if you need it, it's there. And
7-turn at level 75.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me actually go to my version of her.
Yeah, I'm like you're saying the updated versions.
Yeah, so here's this. So here's that. And then yeah, like the character does what you would want out of an offensive character, with a little bit of survival. Like she's very comparable to characters like say Predator, who's surprisingly hard to kill sometimes, not all the time. And she's also comparable to like Light Lunalu, who kind of kills herself over time in order to hit really hard. And so, I'm very happy with this design. I'm enjoying the character. And that's that's good.
Yep.
All right. That's it for those new characters. That's it for basically just the in GBF stuff we had this week. The only other thing that I wanted to point out is that the Granblue Fantasy Versus of Shonen Jump Plus, it's Gaming Ojo-sama, which runs on Shonen Jump Plus, is out. It's basically just an ad for Granblue Fantasy in a gag manga. But I am laughing that the manga artist consults with noted players of Granblue Fantasy,
and then
Versus.
pointed at them to if you had complaints.
Yeah, it's like like the person who consulted with me on this was Shio, who got second place at a Games Cup. If you have any problems with his complaining about the top tier, beat him in a 1-10. and then come to me because all I am doing is consulting a better an expert of on the topic. It's
And then a lot of people tweeted about it.
oh yeah, it's great. Um, let's see here. Is that chapter still up? Let me find it. Gaming Goo Ojo Sama. There it is. All right, let's switch to this. Wait, this is the wrong chapter. This is chapter 1. Da, 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 da. All right. So anyway, it was out. It's funny. I am never going to translate it. Don't ask me to because there are way too many in jokes. Because I had to consult with you guys on Yu-Gi-Oh because Shio was comparing all of them to freaking Yu-Gi-Oh decks. It's like, oh yes,
Zodiacs, Eldritch, Drytron. I forget what was the second one.
it was Eldritch, Tritron, Zodiacs, Eldritch, Virtual World was the fourth one.
Okay, yeah.
It's like if you like playing like what was it? If you like playing Zodiacs, play as Belial. If you like playing Virtual World, play as Seox. And they're just staring at each other going, this doesn't make any sense. You're not comparing a game to another game. And it's just like,
And meanwhile, our chat, we hate those decks.
yeah, because they're all master. It's because of Master Duel specifically, right?
Yeah, because we see them very easily.
Amazing.
Now, if you want, in like normal Yu-Gi-Oh right now, it's like it's a weird meta.
Hmm. All right,
But
so
yeah, they're also you have to put into mind that yeah, they're comparing against OCG rules, which are different than how TCG is.
hmm yeah, Master Duel has a very different meta. Well, not very. It has a different meta from what you would expect from paper game because their ban list is different for some reason. I don't know.
TCG's ban list is different than OCG, which is different from Master Duel.
Yeah. So anyway, um, I don't expect them to do another Granblue versus chapter, but it would be really funny if they did. The thing is that they have done an Uma Musume chapter before, which is why they like have Cygames has a relationship with that manga. But anyway, so that's all we have for this week. Next week we will have. Oh yeah, it'll be Aeneid Day next week. We will have
Oh,
had
fun!
one day of the new Aeneid and the awakenings for the Aeneads, and yeah, we'll also know what the next story event is. Until then, that's what we got.
Well, I guess I'll see you guys next week then.
All
And
right,
meanwhile, I'm just getting some meat.
all right. Later, guys. Thanks for joining us for today. Uh, enjoy watching the suffering of others as they play Unite and Fight. Because I saw Pekra has like 8,000 meat right now. Like there's a lot of mashing going on, and people are conspicuously consuming meat right now. Like Miko has 10,000 meat. Like people are trying to just they're trying to go in. I don't know why. I don't know why this one in particular. I think it's just because it's been 3 months.
It really
Anyway,
has been a while, huh? Yeah.
yeah, because we had Dread Barrage in between. All right. Anyway, see you next week, guys. Thanks.